When I first pick up a guitar and I'm shopping for a guitar, the first thing I start to play is open chords. So something like, and what I'm listening for is the balance between all the notes. I don't want one note to stand out more than the others. I want every note to kind of sound like a choir, and everything's balanced. You're not hearing one thing over the other. It's all just like this beautiful, balanced sound. And I usually try to play more complex chords because you're so used to hearing like these chords. You know what I mean? Everyone plays those, so I want to hear chords with a little more depth, and I want to listen for the different notes to peek through, or not, or be more balanced. So that's kind of one thing I look for, is balance in a guitar. And then honestly, the next thing is how it feels under my hands. So this guitar, like I was saying, the action's incredible. So like picky stuff, let me see. Like all that, to me, it sounds really good. Every note like punches. So I love the color of this guitar because it matches my shirt, like I was saying. So it matches my shirt, but it just sounds amazing. Honestly, it's very balanced. Maybe the high E string is peeking out a little more than the others, but super comfortable to play. I feel like the action is perfect. My actual main guitar is the Dreadnought version of this guitar, so I gravitate towards this guitar a ton. And I love this body shape a lot because it's less, maybe a little less woofy than my personal guitar, so a little more focused, and I think the picky stuff sounds really good too on it. Woofy. By woofy, I mean there's just a lot going on in the low end. A lot of low end content in at least my guitar compared to this one. So, yeah. The low end isn't really overpowering in that. Yeah, and it's just really fun to play. Like, I feel like I could get lost in playing this guitar, particularly. Probably the best use case for this particular model would be in the studio. I'm not in the control room right now, but based off what I'm hearing in this room, it sounds like it's recording really well. I would say this is a great guitar to write on. You could take this to writes. It's very light. I can imagine the case for it's really small too, so I feel like I'd use this on writes. I'd use this on just playing in my bedroom and in recording. When thinking Triple O versus Dreadnought, I think Dreadnought more for leading in a room full of people, like maybe you're at a small group or something. I would go Dreadnought because it's gonna project a little more, just being a bigger body. This, I think, more for like more intimate settings and recording, I think, because it's not gonna project as much, more of a focused sound. Honestly, I think it's really comfortable to play. On this guitar, you've got top, back, and sides, all mahogany. I love the mahogany because it's a little bit warmer. Mahogany tends to be like a darker wood. You see that on like Les Paul guitars, but when it comes to acoustics, I feel like it just makes the overall tone a little bit warmer. This one's got the standard Martin X bracing on it. You see that on a ton of their models. I think it has to do with the resonance in the guitar and the build. That's kind of what adds to the Martin sound. The neck's kind of matte, which I really like. It's not too hard to move your hand across the neck. The frets, it's a great fret job. Nothing wrong there. Like I said, the action is very comfortable. Bone nut, so I think that adds to the tone, absolutely. It's overall very comfortable. You're not gonna get in the super high registers, so that's why I'm thinking this is more like a songwriting guitar, because you're kind of sticking around like this. This is like your bread and butter. You're not doing too much up here, which is fine. And I think for a guitar like this, that's perfect. One thing I love about mahogany is it's got these little like indents all throughout the guitar. I don't know if you can see it throughout, but it's not a perfectly flat surface, which I think I really like, because you can kind of see the wood grain all through the guitar, which looks really cool. Even on the neck, you can see the wood grain. So this guitar comes optional with pickups. You can choose to add a pickup or not. This particular model doesn't have a pickup, but mine, like I said, does. So you could play this at church. I would like to use this for probably more fast-paced songs. I feel like the mid-range would fit nice in the mix. Or you could even use it for just songs where it's just a vocal and a guitar. I feel like it could stick really pretty there because it's warm. It's not gonna be super bright and overtaking what's going on in the vocal, I think. Something kind of like... I think this guitar is really beneficial for the road because, like I said, it's a smaller body. You've got access all the way up to the 14th fret, doesn't have a cutaway, so it's perfect for those singer-songwriter things like I was saying. And the shape makes it really travelable. So when I'm on the road playing with various artists, this would be a top choice for something like that. My home church here in town is the Belong Eco, so I could see myself using this for potentially services, or sometimes my wife and I will lead in the little kids services. This guitar, perfect for that, because it's got a full sound and it would sound great. It'd be a great sound with just me, her, and a guitar. I mean, right now, I want to play something like Swampy. That's got like that, so one chord progression that you'll find in a ton of songs being written right now in CCM is the 1 flat 7 4 minor 4, which is, that sounds weird, but this is what it sounds like. And it's got that like swampy feel to it, like it's, you know what I mean? That I think is really cool, and for some reason I just feel like playing that on this guitar. So maybe it's just because that chord progression is in my head, but potentially something with that kind of a swampy feel to it would be good on this guitar.